Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing my top 3 luxury products for eyes and lips. It's basically the part 2 of a video I created last week, which was top 3 luxury products in every complexion category. And I will link it down below in case you missed it because there is an amazing giveaway in that video and it's not too late to enter if anybody's interested. But I want to begin today by talking about lips because today I'm wearing one of my all-time favorite nude lip combinations. And I get asked about it quite a bit, but one of the products is discontinued, so I have to improvise. But in case you are interested, this is the killer combination. I wear this constantly. It begins with the Pillow Talk Lip Cheat from Charlotte Tilbury. As you can see, this one is almost down to a nub. I already have a backup, so I'll finish this before the end of the year. The lipstick is Pat McGrath Labs Full Fantasy. This is one of the Blitztrans lipsticks. For a long time, I could find it on her website, but not at Sephora, and then it disappeared from her website. I don't know if it's out of stock, if she's ever going to bring it back. I think there's one called Naked Kiss. I also own that. They're very comparable. I would also say the Gucci Blaze of Noon is pretty comparable. So there are several lipsticks that are similar, but they're not exactly the same. I just love everything about this lipstick. I really like how thin it is. And then I always top that off with the Opal Lip Gloss from Laura Mercier. And this is another one of those products. I can find it at Nordstrom. I think it's still available on the Laura Mercier website. But unfortunately, I've never been able to find this at Sephora. I don't know why they don't carry this shade, so that's kind of a bummer. But just like the lipstick, it's a nude lip gloss. Can you find something comparable? Yes, you can. It really should not be that hard to recreate. There's something about this trio that is magic on the lips, and every time I wear it, I receive so many compliments and a ton of questions down in the comment section of people asking me, what is on your lips? I have to know what's on your lips. So I had to share that really quick. But I'm going back to lip liner, so of course, Pillow Talk Lip Cheat. This is the classic, the iconic. It's kind of the perfect pinky nude. And if you're really light-handed, you can make it a little bit lighter, but you can absolutely build this up. On its own, if I were to fill in my lips with Pillow Talk, it would look pretty dark on me. So I just love it. It's very versatile, and like I said, I already have a backup. Don't want to be without it. Another one that I use a lot is the Beige Natural from Chanel. I'm slowly but surely going through this one. So as soon as I finish that Pillow Talk, I'll probably work my way down this one before starting my new Pillow Talk, just because, why let it go to waste? This one is a little bit lighter. If I'm wearing a really light nude lipstick, or even just topping my lips with a gloss, this is perfect. And because it is a little bit lighter, I can fill my lips in completely with this lip liner, and it looks perfect. So I love the texture, the formula. I think these pencils sharpen really easily, and because it's Chanel, it has the little brush on the end. My third favorite nude lip liner is the nude from Gucci. This is 01 Nude. It's a little bit more brown than the other two, so between those three, I feel like I have all of the nude lip liners I could possibly need in my collection. It's very pretty, goes on really nicely. Again, I can fill in my entire lips with this particular lip liner, top it off with the gloss, and you're good to go. Just a really pretty shade. Narrowing down a top 3 luxury lipstick is mission impossible. I didn't even attempt it, but I did pull out 3 of my favorites. Of course, we already talked about the Full Fantasy Blitztrans lipstick. I do have a second tube in a different shade. I really like the formula. I think the lipstick tube itself is very beautiful, so I would recommend these Blitztrans lipsticks from Pat McGrath Labs. And is it just me, or does she always have some sort of sale going on? I think there's no reason why anybody should pay full price. I probably did when I first picked this up. But I would wait until she has some sort of discount going on. I think Sephora sale is now over by the time I get this video up. And of course, I had to talk about my favorite lipstick from Chanel. This is the Le Rouge Duo Ultra Tenue. I have so many of these. It would be impossible for me to choose a favorite shade. This is Intense Caramel. Timeless Beige is the shade that I finished this year. I have so many of these, it would be impossible to go through all of them. But they're so beautiful, they're really long wearing. This is probably my only favorite liquid lipstick. I do like the Rouge Allure Ink and the Rouge Allure Lac, and then these. That's it. The only liquid lipsticks I will wear are from Chanel. And the way you apply it, in case you haven't seen these before, you go in with the pigment first. This is the liquid lipstick side. And in a minute, it will dry down. It becomes a little bit tacky and velvety. And then you have to top it off with the gloss. Even if you like a matte lip, The gloss locks in the color and it helps add comfort and hydration to the lips. And I swear if you do 2 coats, this will last 24 hours. You can eat, you can drink, it never looks messed up. They're just the perfect longwear lipstick from Chanel. I swear by them. They really are that good. And then my third favorite lipstick, when I think about my entire luxury lipstick collection, best of the best, I would say the Louboutin lipsticks are really nice. I don't wear them that often, but when I do, it feels really special. Same with the Hermes lipstick. But my favorite is the Jimmy Choo because it's just so much. It's so extra, so over the top. I think if you're going to pay an elevated price tag for a luxury lipstick, it should be beautiful. You don't just want a little rinky-dink tube. So it comes in this cream little pouch, and it looks like a stiletto heel, which is so cool. And I love the mirrored gold Jimmy Choo logo, this kind of textured ball up here. You pull it out, and the lipstick itself, it did have JC, a little Jimmy Choo logo right on top, but even around the lipstick tube, it's etched and it has this snake print design. So many details on this lipstick. I truly feel like you get what you pay for with these lipsticks, and I think they're maybe $64. So they're not quite as expensive. They're maybe around the price of the Hermes, not quite as expensive as the Louboutin. But even the box, the packaging it comes in, it looks like a perfume bottle. It's huge. This is, I believe, Tender Pink. A really beautiful pink shade. Yes, it's 008 Tender Pink. I also have a red and a fuchsia pink. The lipstick itself is so creamy, so pigmented. It feels like a hydrating lipstick. I would compare it to a Rouge Allure. Feels similar to the Tom Ford, the Hourglass, in that it hugs your lips. Top 3 lip gloss was really easy to choose. So of course I told you about my favorite Opal lip gloss from Laura Mercier. I am almost finished with this. Kind of scraping the sides. I keep it in my purse, so I'm constantly reapplying throughout the day. But this is Opal, and this is blush. And when I hold them next to each other, you're going to see that they are very similar. Blush has a little bit more pink. It's a slightly less nude than the Opal, but I think these 2 shades are very similar. So as soon as I go through this, instead of replacing it, I'll just finish up my blush. But these Laura Mercier lip glosses feel really amazing. They're kind of the perfect combination of pigment and shine. They're not so sheer and glassy that you don't get any color, but they're also not so pigmented that it looks a little bit funny on your lips. I don't know. I just think they are the perfect formula. Next, I have the Chanel lip glosses. Of course, I pulled this one out of my purse. This is 166. I believe it's called Physical, but I just love all of the Chanel lip glosses. The wand is amazing. I was so disappointed when they discontinued the Glossomers. I think we all were, but this wand is so much better on the Rouge Coco gloss. It really does hug the lip, and it distributes a lot of the product. Some lip glosses, like the Charlotte Tilbury lip glosses, for whatever reason, I feel like I can't get any of the product out to put on my lip. That is not the case with these wands. It's such an easy application. They go on so smooth, just silky smooth and buttery, and it feels so nice on the lips. I love all of the shades. They have several pinks and nudes, reds, basically any color you would possibly want in lip gloss. These are great. And then my third favorite lip gloss, the Chantecaille lip glosses. I know I talk about these all the time. I've gone through so many tubes of the Chantecaille lip gloss in my lifetime. My all-time favorite shade is Blythe. This is a fresh tube. And then this one right here is Lucky. Love and Charm are 2 other really popular shades because they're said to be Angelina Jolie's favorites. It says it right there on the Chantecaille website. So those have always been really popular. But I love this lip gloss formula. They go on and they don't feel sticky at all. They're very thin, but they're not too thin. They're shiny. I think this is probably the shiniest lip gloss I've ever owned. And there's something magical about them because whenever I was working in cosmetics and I worked at Nordstrom, I would always wear Chantecaille lip glosses. And every day people would stop me and ask, what's on your lips? What is that lip gloss? What do you have on? And it's because they're so shiny. They're just very reflective. And they make your lips feel really hydrated and nice throughout the day. So it's very easy to go through these lip glosses. That's all I have for lips. Lipstick was a tough category. What I think I might do is create a video where I share my entire lipstick collection. I don't know if that would interest anybody. If you would like to see that video, let me know down in the comment section, but we're going to go ahead and move on to eyes, starting with eyebrows, because there are only 3 products I think you need to create the perfect eyebrow. The first is this Benefit Brow Pencil, the Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I use the shade 4. I think I have a 3.5 as well, but the 4 is just the best shade. No other brow pencil does what this one does. It is such a fine point. You truly can achieve little hair-like strokes. It's precise. A lot of the other brow pencils, even if they come to a slim point, the point dulls down and then it's not so thin. They just don't work for me. I really don't like the angled pencils. The Benefit is the best brow pencil I have ever tried. And of course, it comes with the little spoolie on the other side. Now, to set my brows in place, I really like this 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. This is what I have on my brows today. I kind of go back and forth between these 2 products. This is the best clear brow gel I have ever used. Truly does set them in place and they will not budge. They do get a little crunchy, so you want to make sure that once you've brushed the product through the brows, you're very happy with the shape. Once it dries, it will be very hard to correct. Versus the Anastasia Brow Freeze, which maintains a little bit of pliability. Now, it's not going to hold them in place quite as tight as the clear brow gel. I don't mind, I still really like it, and I'm almost done with this one, but I restocked during the Sephora Holiday Savings event, so I wouldn't go without it. It's lasted nearly a year at this point, so it lasts a very long time, and you only need a teeny tiny bit on the brows. The method that I have found to work best is to go ahead and fill them in with the pencil, and then using the spoolie, I set the hairs in place. I have seen some people that go in with the brow freeze first, and then they fill in the gaps. I think you would have to use such a teeny tiny bit of product, otherwise it gets all over the pencil, and then it's really hard to draw your hair-like strokes. So I find that it's just easier to fill them in first and then set them versus the other way around. The next category is mascara, and this was another really easy one because there are just 3 clear winners in my collection. Of course, the Gucci mascara. This is another new tube that I restocked during the Sephora Savings event. This wand is amazing. I like that it's sort of tapered, so you can really easily get the lower lash line and the inner lashes, which are always kind of hard. If the brush is too big and fluffy, I end up accidentally poking myself in the eye, or it just takes me a little bit longer to do my makeup. So I never grab for those types of mascaras. Never flakes, it's never messy. I just don't really have anything bad to say about this mascara, and it does a great job fanning out the lashes. No clumps with the Gucci. Really like that one. The mascara that I'm wearing today, and this has been in the top drawer for a while, is the Chantecaille Longest Lash. This one is more expensive because it has the peptide, so it's supposed to help them with growth and at least protect them from breaking. I don't even know if I've seen any results. I do use a lash serum, kind of sporadically, but I'm back on to using it every night again, so hopefully my lashes will grow. I just like the way this looks on the lashes. Now, this gives you fluffy lashes. It helps separate, but it does a great job with volume. Doesn't make them clumpy, but you will get a lot of volume. And I also really like this wand as well. It all comes down to the wand. See, it's sort of tapered. Not tapered quite as much as the Gucci, but tapered enough that I don't struggle. Sometimes with those really large hourglass-shaped wands, I just can never get the lashes. I just don't know how people can use those. They're a disaster for me, so something like this is much better. I do like the curved wands. Curved wands like the Hypnose Drama. That is another really great mascara. I haven't had it in a while, but that's one of my favorites. It's the Hourglass that I don't like. Now, this one is interesting. When I first tried this Pillow Talk Push-Up Lash Mascara from Charlotte Tilbury, I did not like it. And I don't think I understood it properly. Now that I've used it several times, I love it. This has one of the most unique wands I've ever seen. Do you see how it's perfectly tapered, which I love, but it's kind of flat. So you kind of have to work the lashes a little bit to really build it up, but you can get a ton of separation and volume and just everything with this mascara. Eyeliner was pretty easy as well. I guess I'm sort of a creature of habit when it comes to brows, lashes, and eyeliner. I kind of keep it the same basically every single day. And I think a lot of people are like that. You might change up your lipstick, your blush, your eyeshadow, but the rest is kind of basic. Otherwise, your makeup would just take such a long time every single day. So these are some of my favorites. These are the Stilo You waterproof eyeliners from Chanel. I like them all. I just pulled out two of them that happen to be towards the top. This is Black Wood. It's a really deep chocolatey black, and Noir Enigmatique. This is, again, a really deep, almost gunmetal gray black. I don't really use these two. These are probably the two that I use the least, but Romance is great. Brune Agape, I want to say maybe that one was discontinued, but the coppery shades are really beautiful. I have so many of these eyeliners. I probably have 10, but I go through them because I use them constantly. They're great in the waterline. They're great even outside the waterline. No complaints about these eyeliners. They truly are waterproof. They don't irritate my eyes whatsoever. And they have the most beautiful shade range. They're really stunning. Most days I like to do black liquid eyeliner on top. And I was looking for my Tom Ford double-sided eyeliner. It's in there somewhere, but I couldn't find it today. That one would truly be my favorite, an all-time favorite. But I have been using this one lately. This is the new Climax liquid eyeliner in Explicit Black from NARS. And I'm really happy with it. I don't remember the last time I saw the Tom Ford. So this is what I've been using. What I like about it, it's a brush tip, but the brush is kind of flattened and then it comes to a very fine point. I believe the Signature de Chanel liquid eyeliner is similar. I wish I liked that eyeliner. It bleeds all over. The eyeliner formula is so thin that it bleeds in all of the little nooks, crannies, and cracks in the eye. Just terrible. This does not give me that issue whatsoever. And I make the teeny tiniest little inner wing with this point. No bleeding. And that's very important, especially if you're going to do the inner wing. It can't bleed at all or else it will just get really messy underneath the eye. So I'm really happy with this. It's very black. You can create a teeny tiny, very thin line with it. So if I can't find my Tom Ford, which is great because it has the sponge tip and the brush tip, I would say the brush tip on the NARS is really good. And then for fun, on those days that I want to do something a little bit different with my makeup, maybe I'm going out and creating more of a sparkly eye makeup look, the Marc Jacobs eyeliners are incredible. And I like these two in particular, these kinds, but I really like the shade range. I think is very fun from Marc Jacobs. They're in the process of redoing their beauty line, so I looked it up. The Marc Jacobs Beauty website is currently down, but they still have a few of the eyeliners available at Sephora, so they're not completely gone, and hopefully pretty soon they will be coming back. So I thought about not mentioning them, but these really have been my favorite eyeliners, so I have to throw it out there. This is Blitzcoin from Marc Jacobs. Of course, I've talked about this extensively. It's the most beautiful bronze liquid eyeliner. It looks so pretty on the eye. It's much softer than black. And I also have a rose gold. I believe it's called Star Child, something like that. But they have blue, purple, green, yellow, pink. There are so many fun shades of this liquid eyeliner. So these are fun. And then I also really like this fine liner. This is the Fine Liner Ultra Skinny Gel Eye Crayon, and I have a brown shade. It works really well for getting right on top of the lash line. Usually I go in with a liquid because that's the only way I can get a very smooth, precise line. But with these, I can do the inner corner, I can do a little wing with them. It's just like using, it's kind of the perfect hybrid between a gel pencil liner and a liquid eyeliner because you can get such a fine point. These fine liners are great. Again, they come in awesome shades. Blues, teals, shimmery metallic shades, golds. I don't know of any other luxury brand that has quite an extensive shade range like Marc Jacobs. Now we are finally moving into eyeshadow, and I pulled out 3 of my favorite cream eyeshadow products. These are amazing for every single day, something fast, easy, get out the door type of makeup. The first one is from Kosas. It's this 10-second eyeshadow. I was so impressed with this the first time I used it, and I've been keeping it in the top drawer. It's a Clean at Sephora brand, but I just really like this color. It's a liquid more than it is a cream, and it dries down pretty fast, but all you have to do is apply a little bit to the lid, kind of tap it out with your fingers, and you're good to go. And it doesn't look heavy or thick on the eyelid. It looks very smooth and very thin. Just the most fast but incredibly flattering makeup application ever. So I really like this. On days that I'm not filming but I'm still doing a little makeup, this is what I grab. Another favorite quick and easy cream eyeshadow is this Duo from Tom Ford. I also keep this in the top drawer. I use this whether I'm filming or not because you can make it very dramatic if you want to, but it also just looks really great as a soft, easy, get out the door type of look. So it comes with, this is the Golden Peach, shade 03. On top is the Sparkle, which you can use the Sparkle if you want. I generally do. It makes the eyelids look wet and glossy. It's not a really chunky, thick glitter. So I'll typically just go in with my finger, tap a little bit on the lid, and that's it. It's not a very high maintenance or dramatic glitter. Then underneath is the cream. And it's just the easiest thing to apply to the lid. You can use your fingers, you can use a little brush. It looks so pretty as an everyday eyeshadow. My third favorite is the Color Fix from Danessa Myricks. I have a handful of these and they're amazing. Now this is more dramatic. It can be easy every day, but it can also be taken to the next level. They have so many different shades. This is Ballerina. So it's kind of the perfect pale pink. You can dab just a teeny tiny bit on the eyelid if you want to. But what's great about them is that they're very versatile. So you can use this anywhere. It says lip, cheek, and eye color. I would only use this particular shade on the eyes. I have a couple shades that look really great on the lips, on the cheeks. You could also do the eye for more of a monochromatic look. They go on like paint. So you have to be careful. A teeny tiny bit is all you need. But they're so much fun to play around with and you can create some really interesting looks with them. Huge shade range to choose from. Some of them are more glittery and vibrant. Like they have one that's more of a purple blue and it kind of shifts back and forth. Something like that is more dramatic for the eye. But this, I think, is so easy every single day. Could be your go-to shade and you just dab a little bit on the lid and get out the door. Next we have palettes, small palettes and larger palettes. Choosing a top 3 small eyeshadow palette was really tricky because there are several that I really like, and out of all of the palettes that I really like and use regularly, there's not a huge difference between them. Like the difference in which I like them is pretty marginal, so it was very difficult to choose. But I definitely love the new Dress palette from Dior because it's a quint, not a quad. So you get that one extra eyeshadow. I feel like it's just a little bit more versatile. The shadows are amazing. They're creamy, they're pigmented, easy to use, and this new Dress palette is kind of that perfect everyday neutral palette. This is the quintessential palette. If you're just looking for that one go-to small palette that's easy to travel with, you can pull it out every single day and, not really think too hard about your makeup, new Dress. As more of a dramatic palette, I really like this Pat McGrath Labs. This is the Venus and Fleur Luxe Quad. I am so happy I picked this up. I've gotten so much use out of it and I think it is very complete. If you want to go more dramatic and sparkly, you can go in with this pink gold sparkly shade right here. But if not, these 3 shadows are pretty neutral and easy to use. I generally will throw a little bronzer in the crease and then I'll go on the lid with either this or this, deepen it up here, and it's perfect. Very flattering tones. I just always love my makeup whenever I use this palette. I love the Pat McGrath Labs formula. Her eyeshadows are amazing. My third and final small eyeshadow palette is from Chanel. It's the Les Beige Healthy Glow Natural Eyeshadow Palette. I chose Tender, but it could also be Intense. It could also be the Warm palette. I just think the little quints, the Les Beige palettes from Chanel are really nice. I used to not be a huge fan of these because they were so powdery, almost dusty. You could blend the shadows out to nothing. But they've changed the formula because their recent palettes have been awesome. They usually come out around the summer as part of that Les Beige summer collection, so the look is intended to be softer. more natural. This isn't meant to rival that Pat McGrath Labs quad. They're very different, totally different makeup looks, both unique and beautiful in their own way, but if you're looking to achieve something really sparkly and dramatic, you wouldn't be happy with this. This is more of a soft, everyday palette, flattering looks. I think the shadow texture, the formula is really easy to work with on these. And just something you could pack with you on a trip or pack in a makeup bag. See, that category was tough because there are several Charlotte Tilbury quads that I really like. The Pillow Talk quad is beautiful. Several quads from Chanel that I really like. Warm Memories would be one of the top contenders. So when choosing the larger palettes, it was very easy to pick my top 3. And there are several large palettes that I do really like, but I could easily narrow down my collection to just these 3, and I don't think I would miss the other palettes that much. It's very rare that I pull out my large palettes. It has to be an occasion that I have plenty of time to do my makeup, like a weekend, maybe an evening, depending on what I have going on. So these are more of a special occasion type of palette for me. The first one is Utopian Dream from Pat McGrath Labs. I love her formula so much, and what I like about this palette, and I only have, well, now I have 4. I have the Divine Rose and Divine Rose 2. Both are beautiful. And then I have the Bronze God. It's not called Bronze Goddess, is it? Bronze Seduction. That's the other palette I have. I always want to call it Bronze Goddess. It's Bronze Seduction. That was my first Pat McGrath Labs Mothership palette, and wow, I was hooked ever since. So pretty. But this palette, I think, is very versatile because this is basically that quad I just showed you. The shades are nearly identical. It's kind of sad. But I really like these, and I think you could create more of an everyday look over here. But then you have your fun sparkly shades. And you have the gold. I feel like gold is one of those metallic shades that people wear really often, especially over the holidays. So gold, bronze, still neutral tones. And then down here you have the really fun shades. This is why you are buying this palette. Nobody is buying a Pat McGrath Labs Mothership palette to create a neutral, non-sparkly makeup look. You want the sparkle with Pat McGrath. And then I really like the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Now we're going more neutral, more wearable. I'm always so happy with my makeup whenever I use this palette. Flattering, kind of cool-ish neutral tones, very glamorous, sultry, smoky eyes you can create with this. You can do soft neutral looks as well. So I think it's very versatile. You can be daytime, evening, you can go really smoky and dramatic, you can go very light as well. My third and final large eyeshadow palette, if I had to narrow down my collection to only 3 palettes, it's from Charlotte Tilbury. And I know what you're thinking, of course, the Pillow Talk palette. Ugh, but you're wrong. I went with something different. I really like this new Smoky Eyes Are Forever palette. This is what I have on my eyes today, and it has actually replaced the Pillow Talk palette for me. Not replaced it. I still pull out that palette and use it all the time, of course. And I will until I've used up most of it, and then I will finally throw it away, and it will be done for good. But this palette is kind of the best of everything from Charlotte Tilbury. I love her larger palettes. At $75 for 12 shadows, it's hands down the best buy. It's the best value. I really like the formula. The texture of her eyeshadows are amazing. But this particular color story is the best out of all 3 of the larger palettes that I have. I thought I would get more use out of the silver palette from last holiday. I still really like it. I probably could wear it more, but this I use on a daily basis. This is kind of everything I need. It's daytime, evening, smoky, pop of color-ish, kind of. There's not really a pop of color in here. The green is sort of neutral. These tones right here are very warm and rusty. These remind me so much of the Pillow Talk. I don't really use these. I use these down here and the first 3. The first 3 shadows and the last 3 are the 6 shadows from the palette I use the most. And I guess it kind of creates a similar vibe to the Glam palette. I have nothing bad to say about it. I love the black exterior packaging. If I had to narrow down to just one Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette, Hard to believe, I know, but I would choose this one. This one is my favorite now. And that completes my top 3 luxury products, eyes and lips. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. I want to hear from you guys. If you have any favorite products, the things that you cannot live without, eyes, lips edition, let me know down in the comment section. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.